What you're seeing and hearing right now is video and audio being recorded from my Canon SL2 camera, which is $300, and add about $100 more for the lens that it's being filmed with as well. And in this video, I'm going to show you how you can not only take this camera, but any camera, and make it go from looking like this to looking like this. And it's not that hard at all. And in this video, I'm going to show you some easy steps on how you can transform the image of any camera. All right, what's going on, everybody? Thank you for watching today's video. My name is Michael Amsel, and yeah, this is my YouTube channel, and I make videos here often. So if you haven't subscribed already, maybe consider doing so by the end of this video. But anyways, before I show you visually how I'm going to change everything to make it look, from this to what you just saw, first and foremost, we need to address the audio, because maybe you've heard this before, but it doesn't matter if you have bad video. If you have bad audio, your video is absolutely ruined. People will always tend to forgive bad visuals, but they won't forgive bad audio sounds. And so let's address this. So right now I'm recording on the internal microphone of the camera, which just about every camera comes with this. I highly recommend upgrading to an external camera or an external microphone of some kind. Now, what I have, I've got the Rode VideoMic Pro Plus. This was not the cheapest microphone when I bought it. I think it's dropped in price a little bit since then, but it doesn't matter what microphone you have. You just need something, whether it's a cheap lapel that attaches to your chest and plugs into your phone, or something like the VideoMic Pro where it's an external shotgun mic. You just need something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my microphone and attach it to a microphone stand and have that be right next to my mouth, just out of frame right here. So let me go ahead and do that right now. All right, so now I've put on my microphone, plugged it into the camera, and obviously you can just instantly tell how much better this whole video is, even though I haven't changed anything visually, just by the microphone. This sounds a heck of a lot better than it used to. So next, let's get into the camera settings, because right now the biggest reason probably this thing looks horrible is because my settings are all jacked up. My ISO is set to 128,000, which is a no-no, and my aperture is set to 9, which not the worst, not the best, but I definitely want a nice shallow depth of field, so I'm going to lower this as low as it can go, which is 2.8 for this lens, and my shutter speed's at 1/50th of a second, which is totally fine for this case. So let me go ahead and change the camera settings first, and then we'll see what we're looking like. All right, so I just changed all that, and already we're looking a lot better. Not great, but better. Right now my aperture is at 2.8, my ISO is at 800, which I still want to lower that, but for right now, the way things are set, that's the lowest it can go with the available light. Now, speaking of light, right now, the only thing I'm being lit by is this big window right here, which if you don't have any external lights, that's fine to use natural light from a window or something like that. But if you can help it, for me, what I like to do, I like to control all my lighting. I don't want it to be, determined by the sun or lack thereof. And so for me, when I film in my house, I actually shut all the blinds as much as I can, or I'll even shoot at nighttime. That way I don't have to worry about anything coming through the blinds. But I like to close off all the windows, and then I have an external light. Now, if you don't have a light, I highly recommend you investing into some kind of light. If you care about video, if you want to take this seriously, whether it be for YouTube, social media, or even professionally and get paid for it, if you care about video, you should care about your lighting, because more often than not, what you see that looks really, really good on YouTube and other content sources, yeah, the camera makes a big difference, but what makes the biggest difference, in my opinion, is lighting. Now, the light that I've got is not by any means the most expensive. It's not the cheapest, but it's definitely not the most expensive. I have the Godox SL60W, which is about $120, give or take. And I also have a softbox, a big like kind of light dome softbox, which I forgot the name of it. I'll leave a link down below. But that softbox was $50, I think, is the sale that I got it on. So that means the light, the softbox, and the light stand altogether was less than $200, and that's an incredible deal for what I'll show you, for what it's going to do for us. So next, I'm going to shut this, or I'm going to close the blinds, and I'm going to turn on the light, and we'll see where we're at. All right, I really like how we're looking now. I was able to lower my ISO to 400, which here's a little tip for anybody, doesn't matter what camera you have, the lower the ISO, the cleaner and better your image is going to look out of camera. The reason is because ISO is just the sensitivity of your camera sensor to the available light. So if you really bump up your ISO and you make your camera very sensitive to whatever light is there, sure, it's gonna make your image brighter, but it's gonna add a lot of noise, grain, just a bunch of nasty that you don't want in your image. So having a low ISO is gonna make it look very clean, which, you know, now that we've added this light source, we're able to do that. Now, what I really like about having external lighting is that you can kind of shape and shift the overall image of what you're doing. In this case, a little talking head video, but I really like how I've got this big soft light lighting up this side of my face. And then over here, I've got more contrast and shadows, which I think just make the overall scene kind of look more cinematic and more professional, in my opinion. So now that we have our main key light, what I want to do is start adding a hair light and a practical light. A hair light is something that is literally going to be from behind me lighting up my hair. And the reason I have that is that it's going to create separation between me and the background. And then I'm going to add a key or a practical light kind of in this general area. And that's just going to help light the scene. Just I think having practical lights make everything just look nicer and cleaner and a little bit more just pleasing to the eye. So let me go ahead and do that right now. And as you can see, that has made a huge difference. So I've got this hair light coming from behind me now. In a perfect world, I actually would have put the hair light coming from this area because you know, it's always best to have your key light and your hair light on opposite sides of each other. Right now I've got them on both sides, which again, not the worst thing in the world, but it could be better. But I think it, as you can see, man, it really helps out a lot for what we're looking at behind me. I'm gonna turn off my key light just to show you the impact of the hair light real quick. One sec. So obviously this looks horrible, but you can see just how interesting the hair light, and I guess the practical light as well, really helps add to the scene. So let me go ahead and turn the key light back on. And also I went ahead and added in my laptop just by, you know, pulling it open. You know, if you don't have a laptop, that's fine. Obviously you don't have to use this. You can use any prop, any source of light you want. But for me, I just kind of thought this helped add to the, you know, YouTube studio or whatever that I've got going on in here. For pricing, the hair light is a closet light that I bought on Amazon, 20 bucks. This little thunderbolt, well, lightning bolt, because thunder is not a thing, it's just a sound. So lightning bolt, like 10, 12 bucks on Amazon, super cheap. So there are options out there if you want to keep doing things on a budget. So I've got everything set up almost to what I want it to be. The last thing I'm going to do is actually change my clothes. And the reason I'm doing that is, you know, not necessarily like trying to impress anybody with nice clothes, but I think what you wear really helps add to the scene. And for me, just this kind of random blue shirt is not doing anything. It's not helping me at all. So I'm going to go ahead and change right now. And here we go. Again, doesn't, like, the type of clothes that you have doesn't matter at all. But in my opinion, you know, just having a nice little white shirt and a black coat, I think just adds some more contrast to the scene. It just kind of helps everything flow together. I hope that the nice bright light bouncing off my white shirt is just going to help create a little bit more just light, like especially underneath my chin and all that. So we're almost done. The last thing that I need to do to this video to make it look just a little bit better is add a color grade. Now you can add a LUT, you can get in there manually and change how everything looks if you want. But right now, this is straight out of camera, and I'm gonna show you what it looks like with a LUT. Perfect. Now this LUT or whatever, this just
something that I custom made. It's nothing special. You know, there are a ton of videos out there on color grading. If you want, I can show you. If you want me to make a color grading video, I would be more than happy to. But for this video, I don't really want to do that. I don't want to take any more time. But as you can see, man, we made such a big difference with audio, lighting, and coloring that took the same exact camera, which this camera and lens combo was going to be $400 max maybe. And I think, in my opinion, this looks so much more professional and better and more cinematic and all that stuff. It looks so much better than when we first did it. And it just goes to show you that you don't need the nicest, most expensive camera to get a really good looking image. So anyways, with all that being said, I'm gonna finish the video off here. Thank you guys just for watching. I really appreciate it. If you learned something, if you liked it, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. Again, subscribe if you haven't already. I would love just to have you along the journey with what I'm doing on this channel. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.